Okay, so the Oval review of the mid-season finale. Wow. So let's just get into it. So at Richard and Nancy's house, they're still freaking out over the cult lady having killed herself, and Nancy is breathing hard. Oh Lord, God bless that child. And she was doing the most with all that yelling and breathing hard. She needed her inhaler, and Sharon was helping her with her inhaler, and Richard was trying to get Barry to call the police, and Barry was hesitant to call the police, and he kept messing around, and finally it looked like he was going to go on and do it, but we find out later in the episode that he did not do it. So what what happened was he was afraid to call because he had charges against him because Kareem called the police over him, coming in the pharmacy and fighting him and trashing the place and all of that. So he didn't want to call the police. And so she's real skeptical, and she's the one that put the pieces together that he didn't call the police. She's like, you didn't call them. And then she brings up the fact that the big knife from the kitchen was missing, and she said, you did it. You did it. They said it was, they said that Ruth was killed in a crime of passion, a lot of anger and all that. And so she just flat out said he did it. And of course, Barry, he's like, I didn't do this. Why would you think that? And Richard, he was trying to be more calm about it and everything, but Nancy had her suspicions anyway when she first found that the knife was missing. And so he Barry, he wants to pack up and leave, so he's packing up his stuff and is ready to leave. So Richard comes to him and he's like, you know what? You need to you can't you have to stay here. We have to call the police because when you had that gun, it ended up firing into a house and killing a man. And so Barry is shaken by that, so he stops packing and he sits down, to take all that in. But what also happened, I almost forgot to mention this. What also happened in Richard and Nancy's house is that Sharon got a call from Kareem. He's like, oh, well, the customers are wondering why the pharmacy isn't open. These old ladies need to get their medicine. It's the first. This is our busiest time of the month. And Sharon's like, okay, I'm sorry. We had an emergency here at the house, and I'll be in soon. So she gets ready to go to work, and Barry goes off and he's like, what, are you sleeping with him? Are you? And he's angry again, and he's telling her, don't come back. Once again, he says, don't come back. And she's like, you know what, maybe this time I won't come back. So let me just finish up what else happened with Barry. So he was he ends up going in a drawer in the bedroom, and he finds a box with money in it, a ton of cash, and the bloody knife. And instead of leaving it where it is, he decides that he's going to take the knife out the box and slide it up under his shirt. And he leaves the house. Oh, excuse me. And the police are out there because they were there to talk to him about the incident at the pharmacy. So he lies and said, I was never at the pharmacy, and the police wanted to make it, easy, and they end up patting Barry down. And of course they find the knife. So now Barry is in even more trouble. So even if he didn't kill Ruth, I don't think he killed Ruth. It's going to look like he did it because he had a bloody knife under his shirt. So Barry is stupid, stupid, stupid for doing that. So let's talk about Bobby and Kyle and all of that, and Lily and Dunk. So Bobby, he's still at Kyle's apartment, and he's looking around, snooping around for information, and he finds a writing pad in the drawer. And you know how the little trick where the imprint from the previous note that's torn off, the imprint is still there on the next page, and you can scribble over with a pencil and find out what was previously written there. That's what Bobby did, and it was a note that says "I love you, please don't do" or something. It was, I couldn't make out everything that it said. So Kyle comes in and he's telling him, you know, I have cameras everywhere, so I can. So basically he's saying, I know if you were snooping around, because he said, what were you snooping around for? And Bobby denied it, and he just told him about the cameras. And he is Kyle starts telling him about, well, you shouldn't wear such tight underwear, and they're harder for me to get off. Kyle is just a pervert. He's a creep. I think I said before in a review that he's like Justin on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but somehow he is even creepier than Justin. I mean, just ugh. So Bobby puts everything together. He's like, oh, so there's a guy. Um, he ends up deducing that it's Donald, and turns out that Kyle set up the whole thing for Lily to be able to design Victoria's inauguration ball gown, and all of course, is so he can get with Donald, and Kyle just wants Bobby out of his apartment, and he really wants him out now that Bobby has figured out his plan. So Bobby goes to Lily. He just hops in her car, and she's like, "Get out of my car." She wants nothing to do with him. And he tells her, okay, you're in danger. Kyle is after you. But he's not telling her everything. I'm like, if you're going to tell her something, one thing, you know, tell her the whole thing that, you know, that Kyle is after her because he was involved with Donald and all of that. Just tell her the whole story. Because she was getting angry, and she's like, you know, I'm cold-blooded and I'm from Watts, and you know, she completely went off on Bobby. I mean, we hadn't seen this side of Lily before. She seemed more subdued before, but now she just brought out the hood and told him, you know, get the F out my car. I'm not playing this. And he told her leave her husband, but it's like what he was saying was fragmented. He's not giving her a complete story. So I can see why she was pissed off, and she she does not play. She's like, I know what I'm doing. She said, I knew what I was doing when I went in that bathroom with you. So I know what I'm doing. I'm not. She's basically saying she's not stupid. She's very well aware of. She's streetwise and is hip to everything. So, let me make sure I am getting everything. So, oh, let's talk about Kareem and Sharon. So, he is all butthurt over, you know, just over the whole situation with Sharon overall. And, he tells her when she gets to the pharmacy, he tells her, well, my girlfriend broke up with me because she found a photo of you that I keep. And Sharon's like, why do you still have a photo of me? We haven't dated in years. And he's going into, oh, I still love you. He goes into all of that, and he says he can't fire her because clearly that would be against the law under the circumstances. So he's trying to get her to quit, and she's like, no, I'm not going to quit. She's like, she wants to get even because of when they were dating. I guess he put her through a lot of stuff when they were dating. So she's like, oh, I want to get even. So she gets even, all right, but not out. She doesn't get, well, she doesn't really get even. She just sort of complies to what Kareem has always wanted. So she brings beer up in there, and and like they're drinking beer, toasting with beer and whatever. And I'm like, this is inappropriate to be drinking at work during working hours. And Barry had been calling her and calling her and calling her. She's not answering the phone. And I guess he was trying to call her to figure out why that money and that knife was in that box in the drawer. She's not picking up the phone, and she's telling Kareem, I love him. I love him. I love Barry. And so Kareem starts doing all this caressing and, all of that. And before you know it, he's kissing on her, and they're kissing, and it's like, Sharon, I thought you loved Barry. And so that happened. So she's cheating on Barry, and I guess Barry was right to have some concern. So so let's talk about the White House. So Victoria's mother stopped by. Her mother's a real trip. She was talking about, well, first off, Victoria is completely you know, needy for mother's validation. She said, do you like my dress? Mother's like, no. And then the mother wanted Victoria to round up the kids so they could go to lunch. And she's like, well, Victoria's like, well, it's very strict around here, the movement. We can't move like we want to. And so Victoria's mother, she goes into the whole screed about, oh, well, we put you here, we did this, we did that. Your father worked his way up in an oil company, the first black man to ever do that. The country is run by so many families. Your father could have helped get anyone in the White House, but we chose Hunter. You came home pregnant from college by him, and so we put this hillbilly, we made him, we got him into the mayor's office, we got him to the governor's office, and we got him into the Oval Office. And so you better not mess this up. She tells Victoria about her outbursts and all that, and how breaking expensive things and how that's not appropriate. And she is just like, has total control over Victoria. Victoria, she's not giving any of that nasty talk that she gives to other people. Basically, Victoria channels her mother when she's talking to everybody else, but when it comes to her mother insulting her, she has nothing bad to say back, because she's pretty much afraid of her, it seems like. And the mother, she's like, if I have to come in here again, I'm going to kill all of you MFers or something like that. So Ma is crazy, crazy, crazy. So Hunter, him and Donald were in the Oval Office, and as usual, he's really not interested in any of the White House business. So he just wants to talk to Kyle, of course, so Kyle can get Denise in the house. And he gives him the envelope with Denise's picture. He's like, I want to see her. And Kyle's like, sure, I can get it done. I can get it done better than Max. I could have had her in your bedroom. And all of that, and he's gonna arrange it and all of that. He has no problem doing that. He's like, okay, I'll let you know when the package arrives. So Denise wasn't even being talked about like a human being. It's just like, oh, the package. And I'm like, so Hunter calls her up, and they end up talking about this stock, and he's telling her how much she has made, like $400,000. So he's doing insider trading through his position, which is crazy, but we know politicians do stuff like that for real all the time, so it's not really surprising that that's written into this show. And she's all excited. Ooh, I'm making all this money, and he basically lets her know that he got rid of Max in the detail because he was jealous. Because, she was a little bit flirtatious with Max, not as strongly as she was with Yuma. But she was giving Max some flirtation. So Kyle goes to Sammy. He's like, I need the cameras in this part of the corridor or the White House or whatever. I need them turned off for like 7 minutes. And Sam's like, what? He's like, what? Why? And of course, Kyle says it was for the president. And Sam's like, the president needs to be managed. Sam is not for all of this, just like, letting the president do exactly what he wants, just whatever he wants. And he tells Kyle, I'm watching you, you sneaky son of a bitch. And so he doesn't like Kyle. I don't think anybody, on the staff likes Kyle at all. We know that Donald doesn't like him, but that's for personal reasons. But Sam doesn't like, because Kyle clearly is very, very sneaky. So Hunter goes to the bedroom, White House bedroom, and so Denise is there dressed in some sort of, looks like some dominatrix wear. And she tells him, crawl to me. And so Hunter gets down on his knees, crawling to her. It was hilarious to me. So they do their little, they do their thing, and then they have pillow talk. And Hunter gets up to relieve himself, and he's talking all the while, and you could tell that something could happen, because with shows, it's kind of, you get the sense that something major is going to happen, and they said in the preview that something was going to happen to somebody in the White House. And so he finishes up, and he goes back out into the bedroom, and he goes to, like, take Denise's face in his hands, and and it's her hand, and he lifts up her hand. It was severed. She had been decapitated. And he's like, in all that smugness and confidence and whatever, it just drained out of him. And he was like, oh, he was freaking out. He was freaking out. It's like, so that was the ending. So the show comes back in May, and honestly, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next, because when somebody gets decapitated, that's, obviously you're going to want to see what happens next. So the question of is, who did it? I'm guessing that Victoria's mother had it done, or her father, because they seem to be anxious to clean up whatever messes may be going on in the White House, because they put Hunter there, so they want to keep him there, and they want to keep everything orderly. And so that was it. So tell me what you think. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you the next time. And I will be doing the haves and the have-nots review. I haven't been able to watch the show yet. I've been busy, but I'm going to make sure I get around to doing that and do my review. So thanks, and have a good day.